Hi there, this is David Dyer again, and today our subject is the Abomination of Desolations. Perhaps you remember Jesus speaking about this in the Gospels. He said, "When you see the abomination of desolations standing in the holy place, you should flee." What in the world is this abomination of desolations? In history, the Jews experienced something that they called the abomination of desolations. The Jews thought that this prophecy of Daniel had been fulfilled when Antiochus Epiphanes sacrificed a female pig on their altar and I believe set up idols in the Holy of Holies in the temple. They thought that this was the abomination of desolations, that Daniel's prophecy had been fulfilled. But Jesus sort of blew their minds when he said, when you see what was prophesied by Daniel, the abomination of desolations, standing in the holy place, you should flee. Well, this means that what they thought was it wasn't it. The Daniel prophecy was speaking about something that hadn't yet happened. So what is it? Let's look at this. What is an abomination? Abomination is something horrible, repugnant, surprisingly evil, but it's more than that to the ancient Jews. Let's read about it in the Bible. You shall burn the carved images of their gods with fire. You shall not covet the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be snared by it, for it is an abomination to the Lord your God. Nor shall you bring an abomination into your house. What does it mean, an abomination? It means an idol, a false god, lest you be doomed to destruction like it. But you shall utterly detest it and utterly abhor it. That's the idol which is called an abomination, for it is an accursed thing. So to the Jews, an abomination was a false god. It was an idol. It wasn't just something terrible or abominable. So here we have the abomination of desolations. So it's a false god. It's something standing in the holy place, claiming to be God. It's a false god that causes desolation. The word in Greek, translated desolation here, comes from a root word which means plundering, to plunder or to spoil. In the future, something is coming. This abomination, this false god, he's going to cause desolation through plundering. Now we have a clue about this. I believe when the Nazis were persecuting the Jews, they would get the Jews and send them off to concentration camps or kill them, and then they would plunder their goods. They would take their goods, their paintings, their wealth, their gold, their jewelry. They would take them as spoil or plunder for themselves. Someday in the future, the Antichrist, the man of this sin, is going to be in power. He is going to have power over the earth. That doesn't mean he's going to rule the earth or govern the earth, but he has power over the earth. And using this power, he is going to force the nations to do his will. Now, what is his will? His will is to convert to his religion. He has no program about education, retirement, public safety. His entire program is centered around worship, religion. That's what he cares about, that you convert to his religion. Now in the past, there's a certain very large religion whose leader gave his followers incentives to go and conquer other peoples, other nations, other tribes. And his incentive was plunder. You see those people over there? Go get them. And whatever they have is yours. Obviously, a certain percentage is for our God, and since our God isn't present, I'll take care of it for you. But anyway, the majority of the plunder is yours. What they have is yours. I firmly believe that this is coming. When the Antichrist has power, has taken power, he is going to want to get rid of Christians and Jews. And this is going to be one of his main methods. You see those Christians over there? Go get them. What they have is yours. You can plunder them. You can despoil them. It's yours. This is one of the main incentives he is going to use to get people to persecute Christians, kill Christians, throw them out of their homes or whatever, and take their stuff for themselves. The abomination of desolations is a false god which is going to give incentive to people to despoil others, to plunder others. He is going to use economic means, economic pressure, and maybe even terroristic pressure to push the nations to help him convert their populations. And if they don't, there will be punishments, economic punishments, maybe nuclear punishments, terroristic punishments. And so the world is going to try hard to conform to the will of the Antichrist in order to avoid punishments, avoid economic difficulty, avoid sanctions, avoid what he's going to do to punish them if they don't convert and get their populations to convert. Are you with me on this now? So if you, as a Christian, are not conforming, you're not knuckling under, you're not taking the mark, you're not converting, you are going to be seen as an obstacle. You are going to be standing in the way of the other people and their well-being, their prosperity. They're getting back to the way things used to be because you won't give in. These Christians are the problem. They're causing us to suffer. They're keeping us from what we want and need and deserve. Jesus says, you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. When you get in the way of what other people want, of their money especially, of their financial well-being, it is easy for them to hate you and persecute you. And if they can kill you or throw you out of your home and plunder your goods with impunity, that means with no consequences. You see where this is going. You see how this could be. I believe this is what Jesus is saying. The Bible is predicting that the Antichrist will use plunder as a weapon against Christians and against Jews in the future. We're not yet faced with this, but we're going to be faced in the future with a question. What's more important to you? Your house, your stuff, your possessions, your family, or Jesus? What are you going to choose when you're faced with the choice to lose everything, maybe to be killed, maybe to be thrown out on the street and become homeless for the sake of Jesus' name? What are you going to do? When everyone's hating you, they're against you, they're going to attack you, they're going to plunder your stuff. What decision are you going to make? Are you going to give in? Are you going to take the mark? Are you going to take the easy way? Or are you going to stand firm in your conviction and your faith and your faithfulness to the Lord? The false god who causes plundering or gives incentive to plunder, the abomination of desolations. This is something which is coming in the future and for which we all need to be preparing ourselves mentally and spiritually, because it could happen to you. Just because today everything is peaceful and safe where you are, sudden destruction can come upon you. So be ready, be in prayer, be in communion with God, and let Him prepare you spiritually and even physically for what might happen.